Another story we're following this afternoon is from federal court in Alexandria, Virginia, where former FBI Director James Comey has made an initial appearance on new federal charges of threatening President Trump. The charges were filed after a grand jury in North Carolina returned an indictment in connection with a social media post made by Comey last year. The post is the one on your screen. It shows seashells forming the numbers 8647, and the Justice Department says those numbers constitute a threat because 86 means to get rid of something, and President Trump is America's 47th president. Comey was not arraigned, therefore he did not enter a plea, but in the past he has said he did not know what this could connote violence. He took it down right away. The judge hearing the case denied the Justice Department's attempts to set conditions for his release. So for more on this, CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman joins us now. Can you go into more detail about what happened in the court and what we heard from all sides?
Lindsay, Comey appeared in court. He turned himself in today. Basically, this was a brief hearing. He was read his rights. He was informed of the charges against him. His lawyer was in court with him. He was dressed in a blue suit and a light blue dress shirt. My colleague Jake Rosen, who was in there, said that he nodded as he was read his rights, and he also smiled at his family in the courtroom there. His lawyer also told the judge that he plans to file motions related to selective and vindictive prosecution. We also saw this in the previous cases against James Comey. So they're already making it clear that they are making an effort to get this dismissed right off the bat. In addition, the judge didn't feel that it was necessary to set any conditions for James Comey to be free. The DOJ wanted that, but what the judge said, Lindsay, is, I don't think conditions on release are necessary in this case. And he noted they weren't necessary last time, looking back at those other recent cases against Comey. So this is now his third time dealing with this, but very different charges related to this Instagram post.
We know the Justice Department has to prove intent in their case. Did we get any more clarity on that today, on maybe what evidence the prosecution may have?
So that's not something that they got into in this hearing, but yes, intent is going to be a very important factor here because, Lindsay, with First Amendment issues, this is also viewed as protected political speech. And to breach that, it has to be something called a true threat. There's a standard that was set by the Supreme Court, and in order to have it be a true threat, the person has to have had subjective intent that their posting in this case was a real threat to the president's life, to bodily harm to the president, and also that a reasonable person seeing this would have understood that someone who saw this image of the seashells, as you can see with the 8647, would have known that this was in fact a threat by James Comey against the president. It is a very high bar. It is called the True Threats Doctrine for a reason. I was speaking with a First Amendment expert this afternoon who frankly said that they viewed this case as outrageous, a transparent politicization of the Department of Justice, and they called it corrosive to democracy that a case like this was even brought.
What happens next in this case?
So we are still waiting to hear about the date of James Comey's next appearance, but he will likely very soon appear in court again. There will be an arraignment. Well, he'll have an opportunity to make his plea. And as we heard from his legal team, they are already ready to file motions to try to get this case dismissed on the basis of selective and vindictive prosecution. It's also very likely that we could see a motion just saying that this charge, this evidence, is not going to meet the threshold that you have to for this claim under the First Amendment.
Katrina Kaufman, thank you.